Throughout my years of yoga practice, I have collected and used different types of yoga mat of different price points. Today, here's some tips for you to pick one for yourself. Hi friends, Stephanie here. Welcome to my channel where I share tips and learnings from yoga and mindfulness. Today, let's talk about yoga mats. Currently on the market, there are many options. They differ from size, thickness, material, and design. And with so many options available, it can be a little overwhelming, especially when you're just choosing the first mat. So today, I want to share my user experience on 4 of the most common and popular mats on the market right now. But first, let's take a pause and think about this. To practice yoga, do you really need a mat? It's actually a conversation worth having because it goes back to the intention, the point of doing yoga. Yoga is many things, and the original fundamental idea of having a practice is to find unity within ourselves, with the living, breathing beings around us, and with our environment. So one way to reconnect with the Mother Nature is by practicing outside. For example, you can go to a beach and practice yoga on the sand. It feels incredible. Just with the sound of the wave crushing in, and you try to sync up your breath along with the natural rhythm of the waves. This can be a great way to train your mental focus as well. So when the intention is to recharge through reconnecting with the environment, with the earth, having a layer of artificial material between your skin and the ground kind of defeats the purpose. But the modern day reality is that not everyone comes onto the mat seeking that kind of spiritual connection. I know I didn't, because when I first started, it was because of a chronic lower back issue. I needed to learn how to move my body again before I could even think about the mental and the spiritual side of it. So my point is twofold. One is that yoga mat is totally optional. Just like any other props, it exists to make your practice more comfortable. So prioritize your comfort when choosing your mat. And 2 is that the preference can be highly personal, because we all have different physicality and preference when it comes to material, thickness, size, and design. And there's no one mat that is best for everyone. Finding what you like is so much more effective and efficient in life in general than basing your choice on other people's preference and then creating another mold and make yourself fit in. That's the case in life, and it certainly applies when you're choosing a yoga mat for yourself. So to help you kind of get a sense of what to expect when you go out shopping, here's a quick introduction to 4 of the most common types of yoga mats on the market right now. These are the mats that I have personally used throughout the years. Each one of them kind of documents a chapter in my journey. And I'm not sponsored by any of the brands. So what I'm about to share with you is my personal first-hand user experience. Let's get started. My first yoga mat ever, Aurorae yoga mat. I would say I got this back in 2009, 2010, and it still holds up. It has a foamy texture to it and is about 6 millimeters thick. This is the thickest mat among what I'm showing you today in this video. It provides great cushion for practicing on harsh surfaces, and it's very light and easy to carry around. And it's the most affordable option I'm showing you today, so I give it $1 sign. Second is Manduka's Eko Mat. This has a very unique touch to it, different from other foamy or rubber mats. The pattern on the surface is actually 3-dimensional, giving it a very interesting texture to the touch. It doesn't have the tiny bumpy feels of foamy mats. It's also not completely smooth like other rubber mats, yet its solid sole allows a sturdy surface to flow on. Your palms, for example, will not sink into the mat the way they would on a foamy mat. So you would have a bit more stability, and it takes away the extra stress on the wrists. It weighs slightly over 3 kilograms, which is one of the lightest options on the market. And it's overall light and weight just enough so that the mat actually stays in place instead of kind of slithering around as you move. Unfortunately, it also comes with a little bit of the smell at first. But the real reason why I moved on to other mats is because the surface is much too slippery for me. The surface doesn't give a lot of friction, so the grip feels unstructured at times, which can be challenging, potentially risky in a flow-based class like Vinyasa. So I recommend this for a more classic Hatha class where there's less transitions and moving around the mat, but more on holding the poses. I know someone will argue that imbalance is a great way to train the core, but in Vinyasa class, that can be a little risky and potentially dangerous. So I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying that it's one more thing to be mindful of. And it's a bit more pricey than the Aurorae mat, so I give it $2. Next up is Alo's Warrior Mat. This is my current practice mat. I use it at home and when I go to studio classes. It weighs about 3.6 kilograms, about 8 pounds. So it is a little on the heavy side. But as you can see on mine, there's quite a lot of scratches and marks. This mat can really take the beat. One of many reasons why I choose this as my practice mat is because of the surface. It is smooth but gives good grip and traction, just enough to hold the energy in Vinyasa, but not so much that it drags the movement. It's really great for flow-based classes. And to my very surprise, when I first got it, it came with little to no smell. So I could start practicing on this right away, which is a huge plus for me. Cleaning up is easy too, but I would just caution against cleaning it with sanitizing wipes. Usually a damp cloth would do the job. These stretch marks are signs of over scrubbing with cleaning chemicals. And this one is a little bit on the pricey side, so I give it $3. Last but not least, my favorite and the most expensive mat of my possession, Liforme's White Magic Yoga Mat. And it's not because the more expensive the better. Let me explain. One extra point is that when I first got it, it came with absolutely no smell. I can literally just roll it out and start practicing, and that I really appreciate. Also, Liforme developed this surface material that gives really good traction and grip. It's very beneficial for daily practice, a reliable mat that provides good traction and stability so that I can get in and out of a pose easily without thinking too much about it. On the surface, you can see these lines and marks. One looming question we all have on the mat is, where do I put my hands and feet again? To help with that, Liforme developed their own alignment system called Align for Me. So what you see on the mat are essentially markers for where to place your body. However, going back to the first point, these are all just for reference. They are not strict rules for you to have to follow. We are all built differently, and there's just no way that all of us can fit into this one mold. So use it for reference, but don't worry too much about confining yourself into these lines. And that's it. Here are the 4 yoga mats I've used throughout the years. Each has a very unique offering. So I hope this video has been helpful and informative for you to choose one for yourself. And again, these are all my honest personal experience on these mats. And more specs and details you can find in the links in the description box below. Before I let you go, if there is one message I really want to drill into your head, is that there's no one mat that fits all. So go give it a try. Try different materials, different sizes, different thickness. Doing yoga really is a practice, a habit to answer what your body needs and honor the needs. And it starts with finding a mat that fits you, that you feel comfortable and interested enough to go on and practice. So go out and try different mats. Feel out the texture, the design, the thickness, the size, the overall experience. And let me know what's your favorite down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so when new videos go live, you will be notified. Until next time, thank you and namaste.